Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final episode of FinServ Tech Oracles. I'm John Burke, CTO of Nemertes, here with my oracular colleague, Jerry Murphy, wiping the tears from his eyes to share our thoughts on technology for financial services firms. For this episode, Jerry wanted to discuss some of the key issues that came up over the last 60 episodes and give us some parting words of wisdom. So, to start with, what have you seen as some of the key themes, and which issues do you think will have the most impact going forward?
Well, John, it is sad to see that we're on our final episode, but it's great to do it with you. In a nutshell, I'd say the three big issues that I think are the most significant and are going to have lasting impact both are probably security, multi-cloud networking, and artificial intelligence. Security really has the most immediate impact, both for financial services from a regulatory perspective, because regulated entities have to adhere to never-ending and always increasing types of rules. But of course, there's the most overall risk to the business immediately from the various security impacts. And I talked about AI. That seems like you can just put a Santa Ana wind to any kind of security risks that are out there. Multi-cloud is certainly something people really have to deal with. And when people think about cloud, they're usually thinking about at the base level, virtualization on a blade. More generically, they're thinking about getting services from Amazon or Microsoft Azure or something like that. And people think I go to one and I have one, but the reality is if you think about all of the services that you're getting from your customer management system with like Salesforce and things like that, those things are all clouds to you as well. And so there's a lot more clouds people have to deal with than they're really thinking about. And the thing about it is people haven't really planned those things. They've just been out there, and people haven't really thought about what is the right load to put on the right cloud for the right reason. So I think those between an AI, of course, right now, it's got massive potential. People are saying, I got to invest in it. There's a lot of investing. People are seeing all this fun stuff. But there truly is going to be a ton of potential. It's probably more coming in the next few years than immediately, but it is right there now.
Fantastic. And what do you think people are missing most when it comes to dealing with these three issues, and what should they be doing about it?
Well, I'd say there's two things they're missing. There's something they should do, right? The thing they're missing most are these two, and they're of equal importance. One is planning better. Like I said on the cloud computing, a lot of that is just kind of happened. Like when you think about your email, I had email, it was on my server in my network, and then Microsoft said, oh, we're going to take that, and starting next year, you're going to get email, and you're going to have to pay us every year with a cloud service at our cloud, right? So it's not that I planned on having Outlook on Microsoft Azure. It's just Microsoft kind of rammed it down our throats, right? And so on with a lot of the other services. So when you think about how did I size my network bandwidth, how did I think about identity access management, how did I optimize all of my pieces of my infrastructure for that, we didn't do it. It just sort of happened, right? So we need to do a lot better planning. The other thing equally important is sharing information. We generally are really bad at sharing information. All of us, and myself included, we tend to live in our little silos, right? I am the database person. I look at the database. I'm the server person. I'm looking at the server. I'm the application developer. I'm looking at the application. Maybe I'm talking to a client or end user if you're lucky. But we really don't. We need to do a much better job of looking and talking to each other, because the reality is everything I do in my domain impacts other domains, and similarly, things that are happening in other domains impact me. The more we can plan what we're doing across all these domains, which includes communication, the better we're going to be. And the last thing, as far as what do you do about it, we need to do a lot better job of wargaming. And by that, I mean, let's think about what could happen in our infrastructure, and let's do a sort of tabletop exercise, what if, and then across these different units say, what are you going to do if this happens? What are you going to do if the network goes down? What are you going to do if the data center goes down? What are you going to do if the power goes out? What are you going to do if our email system goes down? What are you going to do if there's a ransomware attack? And the thing is, most of us do this, but we usually do it once a year, right? It's Christmas time, right? This is the time where people, like a lot of people on vacation, the perfect time to do our once a year testing of disaster recovery plan, testing of our security plan. Oh, thank God I did it. I checked the block for that regulatory agency. I'm done. No, we should be doing it continuously, at least, and we tend to say at least once a quarter, but really often. Think about a scenario, test it, and then have an action review. What did we do good? What did we do bad? And now let's do it again and again. And so we need to do a much better job of assuming things are not perfect, testing our weak things, learning from those tests, and then redoing them over time. So those are the things I think we need to do better.
Let me just throw in wargaming's a great way to find out those things that you know that turn out not to be true.
Yes. A lot of times we're making assumptions about things. We assume everybody else is doing their job, and it's not that somebody else isn't doing their job. It's like, did I tell the person in the database that I was making this modification to my application? Did I tell the identity management people that I was changing this and this and this, right? It's like we make a lot of assumptions very often that tend not to be valid because we're bad at communicating. We forgot to tell people we were doing all those things.
Or their understanding of what their job is different from your understanding of what their job is.
That's a great point. Great point.
Any final thoughts?
Well, my final thought, and of course, this whole series has been about technology and emerging technologies. What are we doing about them? But my final thought is that as important as technology is, people will always be more important than technology. The best technology is never going to be as good as your best person. And unfortunately, the best technology will not save you from your worst person. Make sure you have a balance of your people, your technology, and your processes if you really want to make sure that you're going to have excellence in your environment in the long haul.
So any final recommendation?
Make sure you take the time to hire and train good people. Make sure you have a life plan for them. Make sure you have a communication plan. And you want to make sure that you look at technology, communicate across everybody with it, plan for how you're going to implement it, and test, and then improve, and then test again.
Okay, so your top takeaways for the week and for the series would be security. Just kidding. Security, multi-cloud networking with proper workload placement, and well-deployed AI. Those are the three things that are going to have the most impact for technology folks in FinServ for the foreseeable future. And that, with all that in mind, keeping your eye on aligning your people, your processes, and your technologies, hiring good people, planning, testing, and most importantly, never assuming technology will fix an operational or a personnel shortcoming, or for that matter, replace people.
Absolutely.
And with that, thanks from us, and we will not be back next Tuesday at the market open on Tuesday. It's been a pleasure working with you all, and Jerry, it's been a pleasure doing these shows with you.
Really enjoyed it, John. Thanks a lot for your time. Take care, everyone.